sitting on this for a while. I'm excited to talk about it, but it's probably one of the most transparent videos I have. Let's talk about abstinence. So I have been abstinent for almost 8 years, coming up on 8 years now. And I just want to break this down. I feel like this will probably have a couple of different parts to it, but we'll see. Anyway, I say all that to say, 8 years I've been celibate. The first thing I want to break down is what made me come to the decision to be celibate. So when I was 17 years old was when I had my first or encounter, if you will. And 4 months later, I was with a completely other person. And what made me make the decision was I got ghosted not too long after by both of them. A little different, but basically the same. It wasn't, the second person wasn't as kind of ruthless or as blunt, but it didn't matter. It was like, if I keep going down this route, I'm going to become somebody I don't recognize, because my goal and who I am is just not that. I'm not that person. I didn't want to have a whole bunch of bodies. I didn't want to look in the mirror and not recognize who I was anymore. And so I said, I can't do this anymore. So after that second person, I said, okay, I'm done. And my statement was, I'm never going to have sex unless the person on the other side knows my worth. So throughout the years, at first I was in college. So I didn't give up the lifestyle yet. Although I gave up fornicating. I didn't give up lust. Although I gave up fornicating. But it was a start to a journey that I didn't know was going to be how it is. Anyway, so 2020 was really what shifted everything, because that's when COVID happened and we were isolated, so I didn't have the same access to people as I did before. And then from 2020 on, it was a matter of not being in the position to be able to fornicate. I was not putting myself in certain situations. Some of it was me not putting myself in, a lot of it was me not putting myself in situations, but a lot of it was I just didn't even have the circumstances to be able to be or call up or do whatever I wanted. Anyway, so my journey with God, seriously, like when I said, God, I want you and you only, it was 2020, the end of 2022. And then in 2023, 2022, I learned that I walked in the office of a prophet. And 2023, I had a dream. Someone really close to me, I had a dream about her and her husband. She already knew who her husband was. So my dream was only confirmation. But I told her, I said, hey, I had a dream that you and your husband were hosting a conference of waiting till marriage. So after we had this conversation, it's like I felt God. Or no, I think it was actually during the conversation with her. But I think I felt God looking at me like, you know where I'm going with this. Because I don't think, thinking not strange that I had that dream. Out of everybody who could have told her that, I had that dream. And he said to me, you're going to wait until marriage. I said, okay. I said, I think I'm going to be miserable trying to do that. But because you asked me, because he didn't have to, because it says it in the Bible, God don't have to personally convict you of something he already wrote about. But I digress. But he did. And he told me, and I'm so grateful that he did. Anyway, so that's to say, I said, I think I'm going to be miserable. But because you asked me, because you came to me, Lord, I say yes. Not too long after, I got in a relationship.